What went wrong here? The main reason for the decline of the Star Wars movies, especially the new trilogy, well, it's not what you think, guys. Now listen, I'm going to preface this video with one thing. I'm going to piss off everyone because I am not a Star Wars fan, okay? It was never something I really loved like everyone else growing up. I was more of a Smallville fan. I was obsessed with like Alien and Predator, where most kids around me were Star Wars heads or they were into sports like hockey and basketball. I was into like xenomorphs and predators fighting, you know, I was based like that. So I never really got into Star Wars, you know. I'm a fan of other franchises, okay? James Bond, Mission Impossible, Lord of the Rings, even though that's going to shit right now. Star Wars just never did it for me. I don't know why. So I'm coming at this from the most objective stance possible, guys. I'm as objective as they come because I have no nostalgia, no emotional attachment. I combed through the 3 trilogies to see where's the disconnect. And I found something very, very interesting, especially that new trilogy that came out. And they hate how it turned out, and they might hate it for the wrong reason. I had a couple takeaways from Star Wars, to be honest. I don't really care for it, don't really like it, but the things that I do take away from it are this. Darth Vader is one of the more interesting villains in fiction, in cinema. I can't deny that. He's a very tragic, dark villain who's like mentally abused by Palpatine, and he has a tragic story. He's tried to save the love of his life and he failed miserably. Like, he's a pretty badass villain too, and tragic. Like, you feel for the guy, okay? I like lightsabers. I like the concept of them. You know, I always like hand-to-hand or sword fights more than gunfights because it's just more interesting. There's more things you can do with the choreography. It's funner to watch. Like, that's about it. That's as far as the Star Wars gets when it comes to my interest, okay? But I combed over the franchise briefly, and there's a culture war now between fans and Star Wars, you know, especially after Star Wars Acolyte. Fans and the producers are going to war. I had to come in here now to see what the hell's going on. And it seemed to have started with that new trilogy that ended, the 2016 to 2021 one, okay? So we're going to go through it, but we're going to start from the get-go, okay? Now, I'm not a fan of any of the Star Wars properties, the TV shows specifically. I like the first season of Mandalorian. Couldn't get into it after that. I don't know why. I just lost interest, all right? I like the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, okay? Well, I liked it for some of the scenes. Like, I like Kenobi. I like Darth Vader. I like seeing them together, even though it kind of retconned the fight that they had in the first movie, A New Hope or whatever. But still, whatever. Reva is one of the least interesting characters of all time with one of the best backstories of characters. She was one of the younglings that survived the assault from Anakin when he gave Order 66 or 69, whatever the fuck. She's supposed to be a cool character, but she's just not written well at all. This is the problem, man. This is Disney writing it here, okay? And she's supposed to carry her own show. Like, who's gonna watch a show with her? And I haven't seen any of this shit, okay? I don't care. I heard horrendous things about Acolyte. I've heard Andor is good, and I've heard the Skeleton Crew's okay. I haven't watched Ashoka. I don't care about the canon or the lore that much, personally, okay? But the movies, maybe there's a different story here, okay? Now, I think these movies overall are overhyped. I'm so sorry. Okay, listen. Empire Strikes Back is a classic. And I know why. When I watch it, I'm like, all this shit's dated, right? But I can see why people like it. I enjoy it too. I really like Return of the Jedi. I can actually like that as much as Empire Strikes Back. A New Hope is the classic hero structure done perfectly. Okay? I think Empire Strikes Back has some of the best scenes in the entire universe, right? You know, I love you. I know. You know, wait, did that happen in Empire Strikes Back or Return? Whatever. The final fight between him and Darth Vader. The atmosphere is epic. I swear Nolan used this fight as like a reference point for Bane versus Batman's first fight in Dark Knight Rises, okay? And then the I am your father, let's take over the galaxy part. It's all iconic, and I know why. I get it. And Darth Vader is such an awesome villain, okay? And Luke Skywalker is a very compelling hero. Something that Disney can't get right. But Luke, when he's at his darkest in Return, when he's more experienced now, he's got a dark side to him, y'all. That's when I like Luke. I like Luke. Luke is at his peak in this film, okay? And when I watch these movies, the thing that I take away the most is the third act of all of them. In an era where movies struggle with their third acts right now, it's refreshing to see third acts done well, especially the third movie that has to conclude the entire trilogy, right? And it's done so well. Their final fight's awesome. It's the greatest. It's one of the greatest third acts ever. Darth Vader turning on the guy who's abused him for like the fucking 10 years, you know, to save his son, you know, and his son chopping off Darth Vader's arm and then saying goodbye to him. You know, it's all epic. It's all epic, and the stakes are real, and you want Palpatine to get his ass whooped. It's awesome. Okay, I actually like both of these films the same. Return is not as well paced as Empire, but I like them both the same. All right, this is a good ending to that trilogy. Now we get the prequel trilogy, which showed you George Lucas has no idea what he's doing when he's writing dialogue. He's a terrible scriptwriter, a great creative visionary, not the best writer. We needed a whole new writers team for this, okay? The first 2 movies are boring. I can't get through them. The cast is amazing, but I don't give a shit about any of these characters. Little kid Anakin, I mean, he's a cute kid, but like I don't care. And I gotta be honest, there's a lot of politics happening in them, and it's not well done. I like politics. I like courtroom drama. I like exploring the intricacies of the world, right? And the litigation and all that shit. This, it went too far. I was like, well, why is there so much of these scenes? All right? And the CGI just doesn't work. I'm just sorry. It doesn't. I love these 2 actors. They have like a negative chemistry. Maybe it's because of the writing too, but the performances are like, they're wonky. And yes, you can blame all of it on the writing, sure. Hayden Christensen, and whenever him and Padme are flirting and they're talking, I cringe. I visibly cringe. I have secondhand embarrassment from the shit. Okay? Hayden Christensen, his acting is very sus in this, okay, to say the least. But I did like that they tease the wrathful side of Anakin Skywalker. This guy will kill a kid if he has to. All right? He's like, I killed them all, not just the men. I killed the women, the children, they're animals. They deserve it. Like, holy shit. If this guy wants to save a loved one, his mother died, right? Or something. I actually blocked so much of this movie out of my memory. He was saving someone or avenging someone, whatever. This guy will kill kids if he has to. It teases what happens soon, okay? In Revenge of the Sith. And Darth Vader, in Darth Vader's long career with Palpatine, he murdered kids left and right in the lore. From what I've seen like a couple videos, okay? I'm not a lore expert, by the way, so you're gonna have to stay with me. And I like this dude. Darth Maul, right? Yes, that's his name. I like him. He's a cool villain. That's it. Now we get to Revenge of the Sith. This is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. I understand that many of you will laugh at me for saying that. It's not great. It has problems. Same cheesy dialogue, wonky acting at times. Some of the CGI doesn't work today, but it has one of the best turns from a hero to villain that you can see in a movie. It's so well done, okay? I love watching Palpatine manipulate this dude, coaxing him into thinking his wife is gonna die the same way his mother did, coaxing him into thinking that the Jedi don't give a flying fuck about him. It's awesome. And Padme, she's such a great character in this, but not because she herself is so well written. It's because of what she represents to Anakin, right? Anakin just fears. He's just scared shitless of her dying. It's rent-free in his head. And also, she's hot as hell, by the way. Natalie Portman's beautiful. I would be freaking out the same way Anakin did if this woman that is this gorgeous was about to die, okay? Samuel L. Jackson. It's funny that he just wanted his own purple lightsaber just because. Nothing to do with the canon at all. He's like, I want a purple lightsaber or I'm not doing it. That's good. That's a Chad right there. Samuel L. Jackson is interesting because he's a douchebag to Anakin in this. All right? Well, not a douche, but he's mean. He's strict. He doesn't let Anakin do what he wants to do. Anakin is pissed off at this dude. And Palpatine manipulates it so well. It's beautiful. Have you heard this? Darth Plagueis the Wise, the tragic story. I don't know how to say it, but I love that scene, by the way, when he's telling him that story. Okay? I like a Civil War plotline where allies turn against each other or the student turns against the master, and that's what this film does perfectly, okay? Anakin kills younglings, bro. This movie has balls, I'm gonna be honest. This was too far from me. I was like, what the fuck? And there's a scene where there's a tear in his eye. It reminds me of that Lucifer painting where Lucifer's crying after being cast down from heaven by God. It's so good. It's so good. Now, the final fight, listen, Anakin has just choke-killed Padme. The tension's kind of removed a bit, drained, because of how long this fight goes on and how overly complex and dance-like the fight gets. It doesn't feel that real. They're just doing all these fancy moves from one place to the other, and it's like, all right, this is a bit too much. Like, there's a reason why this fight scene works so well in the Return of the Jedi. There's a point where Luke just starts wailing on Darth Vader. No technique, just pure wrath and anger. It feels real. It feels intense. And then we get him burning, I hate you! Like him burning to a crisp, and it's kind of tough to watch. Anakin, Hayden does a really good job in this scene with his performance, all right? And then this scene is brutal. And this is the tragedy. You see in his eyes, you see the fear. Look at this, look at this. The fear in his eyes when the mask is coming on him. And these robots are tying gluing the nerve endings of him to like machinery. Like you feel his pain a bit. He just killed Padme and now this shit has to happen to him. Like this is the worst life anyone could live ever. And it all is kind of ruined with them saying, no, George Lucas, you know how to ruin your own scenes, man. But I really like this movie, guys. It's one of my favorite Star Wars movies. I know that might be a hot take. Maybe not. Maybe fans will actually agree with me more than I think. That'd be good. All right. Here we go. The new trilogy. I have some thoughts, okay? Now, the first movie, this is the only Star Wars movie that other than Revenge of the Sith, that I watched in theaters. When I saw this, it's okay. It's a fine movie. I don't have a problem with it. It's kind of a rehash of the story we've seen. We have a new order, a new empire rising up. Like, the Resistance won the war in the end of Return of the Jedi, right? How the fuck did they just let this shit happen again? A new order with a new Palpatine called Snoke, same Nazi-looking people, same rhetoric, same fucking motivations. Like, it's the same story. All right? Kylo Ren joined Snoke before he was with the Jedi. Like, it's the same shit. But, that being said, you know what I think they should have done, by the way? Instead of having a new order, they should have just had this Sith-obsessed cult that started growing from the shadows. You know, like all these people that worshipped Darth Plagueis and Darth Sidious, their teachings, and then Kylo Ren's like this dude who's obsessed with Darth Vader and he wants to emulate him, and then he kind of turns to the cult. Like, that would have been a lot better than just this new order just rose up, all right? But anyways, and then we do get some kind of cult. It's the Palpatine cult in Skywalker, which is dog shit, by the way, but we're gonna get to that. Now, I like these two characters only in this film. After this, I don't give a flying shit about them. They become annoying. Like, Rey, I forgot her name for a second. Rey, she's nice. She's okay. She's likable. There's not much to her beyond that in this. She's just kind of the character you have to root for. I do like Finn's character because he's an ex-stormtrooper who just was done with that cause. That's a very interesting plotline. I wish they delved into it a bit deeper, but that's fine. Whatever. I like these two characters, okay? I don't care about this. This is probably one of my least favorite roles of Oscar Isaac's. He's fine in this movie. He gets fucking annoying after, okay? Harrison Ford, I like him, so I like him in anything. I don't have the same nostalgia for these characters like most fans do, so when they showed up, I wasn't as hyped as everyone. This is probably half of what carried this film, because people were so excited to see these guys back, but I didn't care. But I like Harrison Ford, so it was fine. Now, a lot of people think Kylo Ren's a bitch, because this dude is like a moody, unstable, insecure brat almost in this movie and the subsequent movies. I actually kind of like that. I like that he is unstable. I like the fact that he's wrecking rooms and the stormtroopers are like, oh, all right, we gotta back off. This dude's wilding out. Like, I like that he's bipolar like that almost, that he rages, you know? He has that insecurity. He doesn't have the bravado or the confidence of Darth Vader. He's more unhinged. And I like that because he wants to be like Darth Vader, but he's like an insecure mutt in a little bit, you know? He just hates himself. I like that. I like that they're not the same character, even though they dress similar. You can tell it's just a kid trying to emulate like a Chad, and I like that as a villain. It's very unique. So he kills I like the scene where he kills Han Solo because, you know, Han Solo is his dad. I like that he makes that irredeemable turn because it kind of sets up events for the next few movies well, and I'm going to get to why. Right? So we have the final fight. I know I've glossed over a lot of things. Like, there's not much in this movie that stood out to me as great. Okay, I like the scene where Finn tries to fight Kylo and gets his ass whooped. And this is a very well done fight. Only one problem. There's no way in hell you're going to get me to believe that she beats him in a fight in her first time using the Force. Okay, I don't know much about the lore of the canon, so many of you are going to come at me for this, maybe. When she levitates the lightsaber, right, and then she goes at it and she finds a way to defeat him, I laughed because I was like, this is just a Mary Sue moment. I don't care if she's Darth Sidious's or Palpatine's daughter. We don't know that yet. I don't know that yet, right? When I'm first watching this. I know she has the Force. This dude I know he's still in training, but he caught a fucking laser in the air. She should not be a problem. She should have narrowly escaped with her life. Similar to Empire Strikes Back when Luke is getting his ass beat, but he still lives. That's what should have happened here. Not that she shouldn't defeat Kylo Ren. What the fuck? I don't care if she is the protagonist. All right? But it's a fine movie. 6.5 out of 10. I'm not going to give it a 7, but I would if I was charitable. It's a fine movie, whatever. Last Jedi. Here's where I'm going to anger some people. I kind of liked it. Oh, no, don't leave, okay? It's got problems. It's not perfect. I understand, and I'm going to get to those problems, but listen, I respect this movie because it tries to be different. The writers still, when trying to be different, fail miserably at times, but I'm just going to address all this shit that people want me to address, okay? This is shit. Rose, don't care about her. Every time they're on screen, it drags on. Remove them, okay? The scene at the casino where they're finding all these animals, take out that entire sequence from the movie. It drags on. No one gives a shit, okay? What the fuck is this? Why did Princess Leia turn into Superman? I get it. She used the Force. It's the dumbest, laughable scene in the movie. I laughed my ass off when I saw it. Like, you could hear the Superman music come in when she's driving. It's so stupid. Fucking is stupid, all right? He's annoying as hell in this. Whenever I watched him, I was like, Oscar, why are you this character, man? Why are you just being stupid in all these scenes? Do you have some nice shots? The scene where all the ships get obliterated, some nice stuff. I don't care about any of that. I don't care about any of that. The stuff I like the most is the turn. A lot of people didn't like this because this breaks the chains of the past, all right? Let me explain, all right? Snoke dies. People weren't expecting that. People were expecting Snoke to be the big bad, right? You know, he gets killed. The writers were like, fuck it, let's take a twist. They both team up and fight the Red Guards. Awesome fight scene. Then he says, join me, okay? Why is this significant? Think about Anakin. This dude was shackled by two sides of a war. The Jedi wouldn't let him do what he wanted to do. They wouldn't let him rise up. They were always telling him what to do. Then Palpatine was straight up abusing him for most of his life, controlling him like a puppet. But, this character is like, nah, we don't need to be a part of this conflict anymore. Join me, fuck this resistance ship, this new empire bullshit that Snoke was trying to do. Let's rule this shit together. Similar to what Darth Vader offered Luke in Empire, right? Let's rule together, fuck the Emperor, right? It's very interesting because it throws you off the scent of where this franchise was initially going to go. The first movie is a rehash of the story we've seen before. This cuts it all. It breaks the chains. It flips the story on its head. I like that. I get it. People who are into the nostalgic story of the past, the hero's journey classic, they're not going to like this, but not everything needs to be the fucking same. Okay? I like that Kylo has more depth to him than just, oh, we're the new empire, we're the new villains. No. He wants to do his own thing. He wants to release himself from the chains of this conflict. And he's like, come on, Rey, join me. I know you want this too. And you think maybe she does, but she can't, right? Because Kylo's a villain at the end of the day. He killed so many people. He's a war criminal. He's a terrorist. I like it. Now, let's get to Luke. Luke's death. Now, I'm not opposed to Luke dying. I know a lot of people had a problem with him dying to begin with. He needed to die, right, to progress her character. This is about the new characters, right? Sorry, my sword is stuck. This is about the new characters, not the old ones, right? And his death is just literally just him trolling Kylo Ren with his image, with his projection, right? It's kind of funny, to be honest. But then he takes, I guess it weakens him to the point of death. I don't know. I didn't really understand that part, but he looks at his last sunset and dies. This general gets his ass whooped throughout the scene. This whole sequence to me was really funny, to be honest. This movie has a lot of unintentional comedy, all right? This dude gets his ass beat by Kylo. But I think it needed to happen. But the problem was, yes, he could have gone out in a more badass way. But that would have meant fighting Kylo and losing, which fans would have rioted. Fans would have rioted if that happened, right? So the issue that fans have, and I think this is the issue that fans have that they don't even know they have, right? They were just mad that you killed off Luke. Because Luke is a legacy character. How can you kill off Luke? How can you do this? Killing off Luke is not the problem. You can kill off legacy characters, no issue. The issue is when the characters you have to replace them, are they as likable or as interesting as, fuck this sword, as your legacy characters? In this case, no. Hell no. Rey is not interesting or likable to me anywhere near Luke. These two characters are just annoying as fuck to me at this point. So when you kill off Luke, and Luke is moping around this movie because he's kind of a negative Nancy, he's very cynical, but you have that history with him, right? So you know he's more interesting. These characters are not. That's the fucking problem. So it feels like an insult to our main characters, all right? And who's going to be the main villain if you don't have like a Palpatine ripoff, right? You have this dude. I think he's a good villain, but do you see him as the main villain of the story now? Probably most fans probably didn't buy him as that, right? And Scream does this shit too, where they kill off their legacy characters, and then we have a cast of new idiots that we don't care about, except for her. She's cool, and I love her actress because she's hot as hell, and she's beautiful. Anyways, so we had a lot of fan outrage at Last Jedi, guys, but it wasn't for the right reasons. Okay, people are like, you killed off legacy characters. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you try to destroy the story of Star Wars and try to do this new shit? That's not the issue. The issue is these characters and their writing sucks balls. Okay. And it all culminated with what happened. The fans outraged, the producers, low IQ producers shat themselves, and they're like, okay, we need to pivot now. We need to bring back the old guard and use nostalgia bait. We got this piece of dog shit. Rise of Skywalker. Thanks a lot, fans, and thanks a lot, low IQ producers who just panic like no tomorrow, right? So this is the fans' fault, because look what happens. Look what happens now. When you say, no, we want old legacy back, we don't care about the new stuff, why would you do that? Somehow Palpatine returned. One of the worst lines of any movie. Fuck this character and that line. Okay? How is a dude that looks like a hybrid between Gollum and the Baron from Dune gonna tap this woman and make a baby? Oh, he just did it with the Force? Is that what the fuck? And he was controlling Snoke the entire time? This is what you get. Now they ruined the end of Return of the Jedi. This is what you get, guys. You fans who are like, oh, Luke can't die. Oh, we can't break away from the past. You wanted the past so bad, they forced it down your throat now. To the point where they ruined everything. All right? I don't even give a shit about the rest of the movie. We're just going to get to the final act, because the rest of the movie is not worth mentioning to me. Okay? I don't care about anything that happened in this movie. All right? It all comes down to these three idiots. Okay? So they face off against Palpatine. He sucks their souls or their Force or whatever, because now we can do that. The Force, it's the most convenient thing to use. It's a plot device, okay? So they're sucking the Force. He shoots lightning at the ships, which is a pretty cool visual shot, I'll be honest. This is badass. But then she takes the lightsabers, makes an X, and then all the past Jedi spirits come to her, and she gets the power to shoot reverse the beam and shoot it back and destroy Palpatine forever. She Wonder Woman's it. Remember at the end of Wonder Woman where she just blows up Ares because she gets the power from her father? It's fucking stupid. It's not well written at all. And then she dies, and then he brings her back and then dies after kissing her. Somehow, now they're a romance thing too now, apparently, and then he dies. That's it. This is what the fans, this is what you wanted. You drained the IQ of the producers collectively, and they gave us this dog shit. One of the worst movies of all time. They should have done this. Fuck this Palpatine, Snoke, Empire bullshit. Kylo Ren leads a Sith-obsessed cult. And he makes the offer to her, right? Let's say he does kill a Snoke-like character and makes the offer, join me and we'll rule. She says no. So he's like, fuck it, I'm going to deal and lead this cult on my own. And we're going to start a new side of the Force. Not the light side, not the dark side, or we're going to create a new code, our own little group. Fuck the Jedi, fuck all these people, right? But she cannot let him live because he just killed Han Solo. He's a fucking war criminal. And that's a personal conflict. It's not like the Resistance versus the Empire and this is all at war. No, it's a personal conflict between the two. They should have just stuck with that instead of Palpatine randomly coming in. Stupid ass shit. Okay? Guys, this movie, it's literally a problem with nostalgic fans who can't let go of it, influencing the dumbass producers to give us an abomination. I'm the Cinema Vigilante. I had to defend and roast the shit out of this as usual. Okay? If you want sci-fi, if you want really good sci-fi, guys, just watch District 9. Okay? Okay. And if you want to know my thoughts on that movie and the sequel coming out, watch this video here.